Welcome back to NASM CPT exam prep. This is chapter 8 of 20, still in exercise technique and training instruction. Today's lesson is cardiorespiratory fitness training. We'll cover the 4 cardio training methods, how to read intensity in the room without any equipment, and how to match cardio programming to OPT phase. Let's get into it. By the end of this lesson, you'll be able to do 4 things. First, differentiate steady state, circuit, interval, and fartlek training. Second, use the talk test to gauge training zone without any equipment. Third, explain how cardio programming shifts across the OPT model. And fourth, recognize signs of overtraining and respond appropriately. Let's build these one at a time. Cardio isn't one size fits all. Steady-state training. Continuous activity at a constant, unchanging intensity for the full duration. This is the default starting point for beginners. Think of a 30-minute jog at one steady pace. Circuit training. Resistance and cardio exercises performed back-to-back in stations, with minimal rest. This blends strength and cardio demand. Think of alternating kettlebell swings with rowing intervals. Interval training. A structured alternation between higher intensity work and lower intensity recovery periods. Think 30 seconds hard, 90 seconds easy, repeated. And fartlek training. Swedish for speed play. An unstructured mix of paces within one continuous session, feel-based or terrain-based. Think of a run where you pick up the pace whenever you feel like it, or whenever you hit a hill. Notice the progression here, from highly structured to increasingly less structured. That progression is worth holding on to. Now let's talk about reading the room. Zone 1, low intensity. Easy, sustainable for a long duration. The talk test here, you can hold a full, comfortable conversation. Zone 2, moderate intensity. Noticeably harder, sustainable for a moderate duration. The talk test here, you can only speak in short phrases. Zone 3, high intensity. Hard, sustainable only briefly. The talk test here, you can't speak more than a word or two. Try this mentally against a recent workout of your own. Which zone were you actually in? One quick note, Lesson 15 will cover 4 more formal intensity monitoring methods: max heart rate reserve, peak MET, and RPE. So the talk test isn't the only tool in the toolbox. It's just the fastest one, and it requires 0 equipment. Let's talk progression. In the early phases, stabilization. Steady-state training in Zone 1. Building a general aerobic base before anything more demanding gets layered on top. In the middle phases, steady-state extends into Zone 2, and circuit training is often introduced to blend cardio and resistance demand. In the later phases, interval and fartlek training are introduced at higher intensities, once the client has the aerobic base and work capacity to recover between hard efforts. This mirrors a pattern you'll see across every domain in this course. Build a foundation before adding intensity. And here's a practical warning worth remembering. Skipping straight to intervals without an aerobic base is a classic beginner trainer mistake. Let's watch for this. Jumping straight to high-intensity interval training without an aerobic base is a common program design mistake. Here's what to watch for: persistent fatigue, declining performance, an elevated resting heart rate, mood changes. If any of these appear, scale intensity back. This is a real practical safety point, not just exam trivia. Have you ever experienced one of these signs yourself after ramping up too fast? One important refrain to hold on to: overtraining is a program design failure. It is not a client willpower failure. Let's check your understanding. Question: a client can only speak in short phrases during cardio, not hold a full conversation. What zone are they likely in? Take a second and think it through. The correct answer is Zone 2, moderate intensity. Here's why. Short phrases, but not comfortable conversation, is the talk test marker for Zone 2. One more question. Which cardio method blends resistance and cardio exercises in stations with minimal rest? Pause and think back to the 4 methods. The correct answer is circuit training. Here's why. Circuit training performs resistance and cardio exercises back-to-back in stations with minimal rest between them. Let's bring it all together. There are 4 cardio methods: steady state, circuit, interval, and fartlek. The talk test is a fast, no-equipment way to gauge zone 1, 2, or 3 intensity. Cardio programming builds an aerobic base first, then adds intensity and complexity. And jumping to intervals without a base risks overtraining. Watch for fatigue and declining performance. Here's the single most testable idea to carry forward. Early phases pair steady state with zone 1. Later phases pair interval and fartlek with zone 3. That pairing is worth remembering above everything else in this lesson. Great work getting through Lesson 8. Next up is Lesson 9, Core Training Concepts. We'll cover what the core actually means and the core training continuum. See you there.